Brace yourselves. We're about to uncover the world's most notorious crime lords. These are the masterminds who have orchestrated some of the most infamous criminal enterprises in history. From drug cartels to mafia families, these individuals have left an indelible mark on the underworld. Their stories are filled with power, betrayal, and unimaginable wealth. So, without further ado, let's dive into the dark and dangerous world of the top 10 most powerful crime bosses. At number 10, we have John Gotti. Known as the Teflon Don, Gotti ruled the Gambino family with an iron fist. His rise to power in the 1980s was marked by a series of high-profile trials where he managed to evade conviction time and time again, earning him his infamous nickname. Gotti's charisma and ruthless tactics made him a media sensation, and he became the face of organized crime in America. Gotti's influence extended far beyond the streets of New York. He was known for his ability to manipulate the media and public opinion, often portraying himself as a modern-day Robin Hood. However, his reign came to an end in 1992 when he was finally convicted of murder and racketeering. Next up, at number 9, we have Pablo Escobar. The king of cocaine, Escobar's empire brought in billions. Born in Rio Negro, Colombia, Escobar started his criminal career as a small-time smuggler before rising to become the head of the Medellin cartel. At the height of his power, Escobar controlled over 80% of the cocaine smuggled into the United States. Escobar built a vast network of drug labs, smuggling routes, and distribution points, all protected by a private army of loyal enforcers. Despite his ruthless tactics, Escobar was also seen as a benefactor by many in his hometown, where he funded schools, hospitals, and housing projects. Moving on to number 8, we have Al Capone, Scarface himself. Capone turned Chicago into his personal playground during Prohibition. Born in Brooklyn, New York, Capone moved to Chicago in the early 1920s and quickly rose through the ranks of the city's underworld. By the age of 26, he was the head of the Chicago outfit. Capone's reign was marked by a series of violent gang wars, most notably the St. Valentine's Day Massacre in 1929. Despite his criminal activities, Capone was also known for his philanthropic efforts, including opening soup kitchens during the Great Depression. Don't forget about Carlo Gambino, our number 7. Gambino was the quiet, calculating leader of the Gambino crime family, one of the 5 families that dominated organized crime in New York City. Born in Sicily, Gambino immigrated to the United States in 1921 and quickly became involved in the city's burgeoning underworld. Gambino's leadership style was marked by a focus on business and profit rather than violence. Under his rule, the Gambino family became one of the most powerful and profitable criminal organizations in the world. Halfway there, we've got Lucky Luciano. He redefined the mob with his organized crime syndicate. Born in Sicily, Luciano immigrated to the United States as a child and quickly became involved in the New York underworld. By the 1930s, he had risen to the top of the city's criminal hierarchy. Luciano's most significant contribution was the creation of the Commission, a governing body that brought together the leaders of the country's most powerful crime families to resolve disputes and coordinate activities. Then there's El Chapo. His escape stories are just as legendary as his drug empire. Born Joaquin Guzman in Sinaloa, Mexico, El Chapo rose to power as the leader of the Sinaloa cartel, one of the most powerful and violent drug trafficking organizations in the world. El Chapo's most famous escape occurred in 2015 when he tunneled out of a maximum security prison in Mexico. His escape was a major embarrassment for the Mexican government and highlighted the extent of his power and influence. Up next, Frank Lucas, the American gangster who cut out the middleman in the heroin trade. Born in North Carolina, Lucas moved to Harlem, New York, where he became involved in the city's drug trade. Lucas's most significant achievement was his ability to bypass traditional drug distribution networks. Lucas's operation was highly organized and efficient, and he was known for his strict discipline and attention to detail. However, his success also attracted the attention of law enforcement, and he was eventually arrested and convicted of drug trafficking in 1975. Third on our list, Vito Genovese. His influence stretched far beyond the mob. Born in Italy, Genovese immigrated to the United States as a child and quickly became involved in the New York underworld. By the 1930s, he had risen to the top of the city's criminal hierarchy. Genovese's most significant contribution was the creation of the Commission, a governing body that brought together the leaders of the country's most powerful crime families to resolve disputes and coordinate activities. At number 2, we've got Meyer Lansky, the financial genius behind organized crime. Born in Poland, Lansky immigrated to the United States as a child and quickly became involved in the New York underworld. By the 1930s, he had risen to the top of the city's criminal hierarchy. Lansky's most significant contribution was the creation of the Commission, a governing body that brought together the leaders of the country's most powerful crime families to resolve disputes and coordinate activities. And finally, number 1, the Godfather himself, Charles "Lucky" Luciano. Born in Sicily, Luciano immigrated to the United States as a child and quickly became involved in the New York underworld. By the 1930s, he had risen to the top of the city's criminal hierarchy. Luciano's most significant contribution was the creation of the Commission, a governing body that brought together the leaders of the country's most powerful crime families to resolve disputes and coordinate activities. Want more tales from the underworld? Like and subscribe for your next crime fix.